and go wrong and you're not with me no more, you don't have nothing bad to say about me because I put you in a position to become an entrepreneur or to become a boss.
This is our next generation fighter. You know, when I sit back and watch Floyd when he retired, I actually see Gervonta Tank Davis doing it now.
Attention to him and make him open up here to make him work. When you get close, he can't fight in the inside. Trust me. How long you been trusting me?
Floyd Mayweather erupted in anger at Gervonta Davis for shouting at Calvin Ford in the ring. He criticized Tank, saying he should not disrespect the man who helped him succeed. Floyd Mayweather didn't hold back as he lashed out at Tank Davis for disrespecting Calvin Ford. He made it clear that Tank wouldn't be where he is without his support. He warned him that success comes with responsibility and that disrespecting those who helped him is unacceptable.
And go wrong and you're not with me no more, you don't have nothing bad to say about me because I put you in a position to become an entrepreneur or to become a boss.
During a tense moment between rounds, Tank Davis shocked the boxing world with an uncharacteristic outburst at his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford. As Ford leaned in to wipe sweat from Davis's face and offer crucial instructions, Davis abruptly interrupted, exclaiming, "You gotta stop and listen to me." The sudden frustration in his voice suggested a breakdown in communication, an unusual sight between the fighter and the man who has been in his corner for years. Calvin Ford has always been the driving force behind Tank Davis, pushing him to greatness in every fight. As Tank prepared for his bout against Yuriorkis Gamboa, Ford's motivation was key. In the corner, Ford's energy was electric, urging Tank to stay focused and finish strong. Throughout the fight, he reminded Tank of his power, his skill, and his destiny to be great. During the later rounds, when Gamboa showed resilience, Ford's words kept Tank sharp. "Close the show," Ford demanded, knowing Tank had the ability to end the fight in spectacular fashion. His coaching was more than just instructions. It was pure belief in his fighter. In the 12th round, Tank delivered, securing the TKO victory. Every fight, Ford's presence fuels Tank's confidence and determination. Their bond is unbreakable, and Ford's motivation continues to push Tank to prove he's one of the best in boxing.
Attention to him and make him open up here to make him work. When you get close, he can't fucking fight in the inside. Trust me. How long you been trusting me? Get close to him and just keep probing. When I say penitentiary, put that knife in him. Put him in him. Okay? All right, put him together. Yeah, go to the body. Remember, take the wild shots. Okay?
Tank Davis has always thrived under Calvin Ford's guidance, but his fight against Roach was different. Ford wasn't as involved as he usually is, and fans quickly noticed the difference. Without Ford's usual presence in the corner, Tank struggled to find his rhythm, leading many to call it the worst performance of his career. Critics argue that Ford's absence played a major role in Tank's lackluster showing. His energy, strategy, and motivational words have always been crucial, pushing Tank to dominate his opponents. Without that familiar voice, Tank didn't seem like himself. The fight lacked the explosiveness and control that usually define his performances.
In my mind, this is why Gervonta Davis struggled that fight, so just roll with me for a second, you'll see where I'm going. I don't know if y'all noticed it right away, but I noticed it. Calvin Ford was not the head man in the corner, which I didn't really understand. And before the video continues, go ahead to the follow button because we're about to deep dive into this and we post every day. Calvin Ford was not the lead man who's been with Gervonta since he was a damn near child. Honestly, since he was a child. Why would you do that? I don't know if they were underestimating the fight. I don't know if they were just trying to change it up and try something new because this wasn't a huge opponent. I don't know if there's something wrong with Calvin or Calvin's not going to be there. I don't know. But that was damn stupid. Because you notice when shit started hitting the fan, guess what voice popped up on that screen? Put his head through ropes and Calvin started coaching. When Tank's eye messed up, guess where he looked? He didn't look at that other corner man. He looked for Calvin Ford. Also, Tank talked a lot during this fight. It was a little bit of a different Tank than we've seen. He was chirping with the fire, which isn't new. He was arguing with the ref. He seemed not composed. I feel like that would have been different with a Calvin Ford in his corner. Because I'm going to be real, the advice that his corner was giving him was dog shit. Yeah, he won the fight, but let's be real, he shouldn't have won that fight. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I think that definitely played a role, and I feel like if Calvin was there, it would have been a little different. But yeah, not a good boxing night from Tank, and this is from a Tank fan, so.
Many believe that Ford's influence is irreplaceable, and his limited role in this fight highlighted just how much he means to Tank's success. Whether this was just an off night or something more, one thing is clear. Tank is at his best when Ford is fully in his corner. Tank Davis's fight against Roach wasn't just disappointing in performance, it also exposed underlying tensions in his camp. One of the biggest signs that something was off was Calvin Ford's reduced role in training and in the corner. Fans and analysts noticed that Ford, who had always been a major influence in Tank's fights, wasn't as involved this time. This raised questions about possible issues between them. Trainer Barry, who was also part of Tank's team, tried to downplay the situation when asked about Ford's absence. He acknowledged Ford's value, calling him a great coach. But his statement, "Boxing is boxing," suggested there was more to the story. The way he spoke made it seem like there had been some sort of disagreement or change behind the scenes, even if he didn't directly confirm it. The biggest moment that made the tension undeniable was when Tank shouted at Calvin Ford during the fight. This was unusual because Ford had always been a calming and motivating presence in his corner. Seeing Tank react this way toward his longtime mentor showed that something had shifted. Whether it was frustration from the fight itself or deeper issues between them, it was clear their dynamic wasn't the same as before. With this performance being called one of Tank's worst, many believe Ford's absence played a key role. His ability to push Tank mentally and strategically had always been a major advantage, and without it, the fight felt different. The situation left fans wondering if this was just a one-time issue or if something bigger was brewing between Tank and Ford. Either way, their bond, once seen as unbreakable, now seemed to have cracks that couldn't be ignored.
Cal was good, you know what I mean? With us is always good. Of course, boxing is boxing, and you can see have some unforeseen things go on. But for the most part, we had a great time.
Very good. And how's he looking at camp? What are you expecting from him on fight night?
He was sharp, just to be Tank. You know what I mean? Tank being Tank. Just a little different for us because this is somebody that's close, to us. You know what I mean? Somebody we got love for. And normally the people we fight, people we don't know. So you can be as mean as nasty as you want to. But for this fight, we got to cast our feelings aside for that 36 minutes or whatever it is and take care of business. That's it. Yeah.
Tank Davis's decision to leave Floyd Mayweather's promotion was a major shift in his career. Having been under Mayweather Promotions for years, the move raised questions about what led to the split. Many speculated there could have been tension between Tank and Floyd, but Calvin Ford, Tank's longtime trainer, downplayed any drama. Ford addressed the situation by emphasizing that it was strictly business. He made it clear that there was no personal fallout, saying, "We are not leaving, it's business, and we are brothers." His words suggested that while Tank was moving on from Mayweather Promotions, his core team and relationships remained intact. To put things into perspective, Ford pointed out that other big-name fighters had done the same, referring to how fighters often leave their promotional teams to take more control over their careers. Ford framed Tank's decision as a natural step for a fighter at his level, rather than a sign of conflict. Tank's departure symbolized his desire for independence, allowing him to navigate his career on his own terms. Some believed he wanted more control over his fights, earnings, and promotional choices. While Floyd Mayweather had guided him to superstardom, Tank was now ready to carve his own path. Despite the change, Ford reassured everyone that their bond remained strong. Business decisions wouldn't affect their brotherhood, and their focus remained on Tank's success. Whether this move will benefit Tank in the long run remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: he is stepping into a new chapter of his career with confidence and control.
So we talked about Tank in the business now. There's talk that he could be leaving Mayweather Promotions. He said he was to Brian Custer that this is his last fight.
Everybody missing, he's leaving. It's business.
Right, for sure.
If it's good business, we're gonna do what? Business.
For sure.
We're not leaving each other. It's just not on contract.
Okay. So you're still gonna do business with Mayweather?
I got you.
Right.
You have to do business. They brothers.
Right.
They brothers, and you got to remember they the best in boxing. You got Al and Floyd. Come on.
But it's just good. How excited for you for him to have that flexibility?
It's good because Canelo do it. Garcia did it. It's been done.
Right.
It's been done. You know what I'm saying?
Calvin Ford has always been a guiding force in Gervonta Davis's career, standing by his side and advising him in crucial moments. From the beginning, Tank trusted Ford's wisdom and followed his instructions even in the toughest situations. One of the best examples of this was during a fight when Tank came to the corner in the 6th round and admitted, "My hand is hurting." Instead of letting the injury dictate the outcome, Ford gave Tank the advice he needed: fight through it. He didn't allow Tank to dwell on the pain or make excuses. Instead, he pushed him to dig deep, knowing he had the heart and skill to overcome adversity. Tank listened without hesitation, showing his obedience and trust in Ford's leadership. That moment was a testament to their bond. Tank has always relied on Ford's experience, and Ford has always guided him with the best intentions. It's this relationship that has helped Tank reach the top of boxing. No matter the situation, Ford's voice remains one of the most influential in Tank's corner, ensuring he stays focused and determined. From the early days to championship fights, their connection has never wavered.
One hand, he came in the corner at the 6th round and said, "My hand is hurting." If you look at the tape, I said, "Man, I don't want to hear that. Fight through it." And he done it. Y'all got to give this young man his props. Man, he come in day in and day out. And you hear him keep saying, he fight who they put in front of him. And we don't turn down nothing but our callers. So whatever they say to do, we're going to get the job done. That's the blue-collar way.
Some fans believe Tank Davis's performance against Lamont Roach suffered because he wasn't trained by Calvin Ford for the fight. Ford has always been a key figure in Tank's success, and his absence in training raised concerns. Not only was Ford less involved in camp, but during the fight, Tank also didn't listen to his advice like he usually does. This lack of chemistry and direction may have contributed to what many call his worst performance. Without Ford's usual influence, Tank seemed less sharp, leading people to question whether their bond was weakening and if it affected his performance.
That little break in between you guys not being, was there like kind of like a family fondness where it's
No,
like,
he came to see me. Dad, slow down, I'm worrying about you because, boom, he knows that I spend time with my amateurs. You know me, both of y'all know me very well.
Yeah.
Don't I spend time with my amateurs?
Yeah.
All the time. That's my peace. And he know when I go spend time with my peace, I'm going through things. You know what I'm saying? When he was there, at least I know where he was at. Because it was something that we didn't do. It was something that we normally do. Y'all with me? And it was good for us to tell you the truth, because when I stepped back in the head biggest game and I haven't been there, it brought back so much memories. When we first started off, and him seeing all us working together, he was happy. And at the end of the day, what it's about, the fighter.
Calvin Ford has always been in Tank Davis's corner, not just in fights, but in life-changing decisions as well. When Tank made the bold move to leave Floyd Mayweather's promotion, Ford stood by him, offering his unwavering support. He acknowledged that Floyd is his own person and Tank is his own man. But at the end of the day, Tank is chasing greatness. Ford emphasized that Floyd, as someone who has been in the same position, should support Tank's journey to independence and success. However, Ford also hinted at a deeper truth, one that time eventually reveals. He suggested that while Floyd may have publicly wished Tank well, his true colors eventually come out. The tension between Tank and Floyd had been brewing for some time, and some believe that Floyd couldn't handle Tank stepping out of his shadow. As Tank grew into a superstar in his own right, it became clear that he no longer needed to be under Mayweather's wing. Ford's words reflected a simple reality. Every great fighter must carve their own path. While Floyd had guided Tank in the early years, Tank's journey to true greatness required independence, and no matter what, Ford was going to be there to support him.
Another thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. You know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always tell you that. You should be supporting that, you know. It's a rocky road that we see what's going on. Just pay attention, man. The story is going to reveal itself, you know. But again, that's how you burn bridges. Somebody said, they say the true colors of a person is coming out, man. 'Cause they can't stand it, you know. Calm is I don't like using that word calm, you know, but our Lord knows. He knows. He knows. He knows.
Many people, including Floyd Mayweather himself, believe that Tank Davis became a superstar because of Floyd's influence. Since Tank was signed under Mayweather Promotions for years, some argue that Floyd's guidance and platform made him the fighter he is today. However, Calvin Ford sees things differently. Ford dismisses the idea that Tank's success was purely the result of Floyd's work, or even his own. He believes that greatness isn't something that any one person can create. Instead, he credits nature for bringing Tank's success, saying it wasn't just Floyd, just himself, or even just Tank alone. It was something bigger than all of them. According to Ford, some things are simply meant to be. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right moments all aligned to put Tank on the path to greatness. While Floyd played a role in providing a platform, and while Tank put in the hard work, Ford believes that destiny played an even bigger part. This perspective challenges the common narrative that Tank owes everything to Floyd. Instead, Ford acknowledges that Tank's rise was a combination of many factors that couldn't have been controlled by any one person. He sees greatness as something that naturally unfolds when talent, timing, and fate come together. By emphasizing nature's role, Ford reminds people that no one can take full credit for another person's success. Tank was destined for greatness, and while Floyd and Ford were part of the journey, his success was ultimately written long before anyone could claim responsibility for it.
How important was it for Tank to learn?
That was the blessing. That wasn't my work. That wasn't Tank work. That wasn't floor work. It was the stars, the moons, or whatever, bringing them together to create greatness. So we can have this greatness carry us to the next generation.
You showed humbleness on stage at the press conference today, giving it immense props to the guys at the other side of the table, to Tank, to Goosen, to...
I grew up off them. I grew up off the legends of what they did when we was watching boxing, when they said boxing was great. Boxing still is great. You just got to get the guys to do what they do. Thanks, Steve. To do what they do, you know, and it's happening, you know. Don't talk, do it.
After Tank beat Hector Garcia, he actually said, and no one asked him about that, at least that I know of, that Hector was the better of the two Garcias.
He was popping, boy. He was shooting back. Like it was a good fight. It was something to you know, have some. It was a good fight, but I just watched a little glimpse of him. He came to put that party in, you know. So again, Tank do what he do, you know what I'm saying? So we just waiting for this next one to happen there.
I know.
Tell Dante I said hello to you.
Oh, of course.
Tell him I know where he at. I'm trying to tell him to call me. My number ain't changed, dude.
All right, I got you.
All right.
Calvin Ford and Tank Davis have shared an unbreakable bond from the very beginning. Ford has often reminisced about their earliest days, telling stories of how he first met Tank when he was just a young kid with raw talent and a hunger to fight. From that moment, Ford took him under his wing, guiding him not just as a trainer but as a mentor and father figure. Over the years, they celebrated victories, overcame challenges, and built a relationship based on trust and loyalty. Ford always spoke with pride about Tank's journey, remembering the countless hours spent in the gym, shaping him into the champion he is today. Their connection was more than boxing. It was a deep, personal brotherhood. Now, seeing tension between them is heartbreaking. What was once a relationship filled with laughter, respect, and mutual admiration seems to have cracks forming. The shift is painful to witness, especially for those who have followed their journey from the start. Ford's love for Tank has never wavered, but the recent changes have raised questions about their future. No matter what happens, their history remains undeniable, and the hope is that their bond can withstand any challenges that come their way.
Tank was the first one in the gym, the last one out the gym. Tank used to sit on the ring like this and watch me train him.
How old is he at this point?
He was like 7, 8.
Okay.
A lot of stuff that I was giving my son was giving it to Tank. So it was a perfect fit. Tank was like the family, you know what I'm saying? And he used to sit at the table because I had another kid named Ramon Manning. He liked to play with them guns, you know what I'm saying? And when I lost him, I was hurt because that was my first time losing a fighter that you put so much into. Remember, I said, Tank, my money running out. And he just looked at me and said, believe in me, coach. Believe. That's what did it.
When he said that,
It's still,
damn.
I don't hear Tank as the day. I hear Tank as that little boy. Believe in me, coach. And he came in the gym one day and he said, Coach, I seen it. I said, what you seen? I had all the belts on me. He said, I'm gonna be that dude. The rest is history.
Damn. I got goosebumps low-key. That's kind of crazy.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.